The Mystery of Willowbrook Manor. In a quiet village by the edge of foggy hills and dark green forests, there stood an old, grand house known as Willowbrook Manor. For years, Willowbrook had been empty, and villagers often whispered about strange sounds and ghostly lights that seemed to flicker through the windows at night. Only the boldest children dared to approach it, and even they only came as close as the tall, creaky iron gates. One chilly autumn evening, a curious young boy named Tommy decided he would be the first to explore the manor. Tommy loved mysteries and had always dreamed of discovering hidden treasures or solving old secrets. So, on this particular evening, he packed a small flashlight, a notebook, and a pencil, and he set off toward Willowbrook Manor. As he walked, the sky grew darker, and clouds covered the moon. He pushed open the rusty gate with a loud creak and approached the front door. To his surprise, the door wasn't locked. With a deep breath, he turned the handle and stepped inside. The heavy door slowly closed behind him, and he was left alone in the manor's eerie silence. The air inside Willowbrook Manor was thick with dust, and the smell of old wood filled the room. He noticed that the grand hall was decorated with tall paintings of people he had never seen before. Each one stared down at him, their eyes seeming to follow him wherever he moved. As he walked deeper into the hall, Tommy noticed a large painting of a young man standing in front of the manor, wearing old-fashioned clothes. Underneath the painting, there was a small plaque that read, "Jonathan Harlow, 1872. The strange thing about the painting was that it seemed almost alive. It was as if Jonathan's eyes were filled with a hidden story, something he wished to tell. Tommy reached out to touch the edge of the frame, and suddenly, he felt the painting shift. He jumped back as a small panel behind the painting slid open. Inside was a small, dusty notebook, bound in faded blue leather. The name Jonathan Harlow was written in gold on the cover. Tommy carefully opened the notebook, his hands trembling with excitement. Inside, he read about Jonathan, the young man in the painting. Jonathan had been the son of the manor's original owner, and though he was kind, he was often lonely. According to his notebook, Jonathan had a secret friend, a girl from the village named Emily, who would visit him at night. They would meet secretly, laughing and sharing stories while the rest of the world was asleep. But one stormy night, Emily disappeared, and Jonathan wrote about his plan to find her, no matter what. The last page of the notebook held a message, written in Jonathan's own hand. It was a riddle. Beneath the staircase, shadows hide. Follow the path where secrets reside. Where whispers linger, truth will wait, in silent rooms, beyond the gate. Tommy knew the grand staircase in the hall well. It was the largest staircase he'd ever seen. He rushed to the bottom of it, shining his flashlight under the stairs. And there, tucked in the shadows, he found a small trapdoor. He pulled on the handle and lifted the trapdoor, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into the darkness below. Taking a deep breath, Tommy slowly descended the steps, each one creaking under his weight. At the bottom, he found himself in a hidden room with only a faint, flickering candle lighting the space. In the center of the room was a small, wooden box. On top of the box, there was a note. Tommy picked it up and read. To my dearest friend, Emily, if we cannot meet in life, perhaps we'll find each other in dreams. Until that day, I keep you close in my heart. Tommy carefully opened the box. Inside was a locket with two small portraits, one of Jonathan and one of a girl with kind eyes and a bright smile. They were smiling at each other in the locket, a memory frozen in time. Beside the locket was a dried white rose, now fragile with age. Tommy felt his heart ache for Jonathan and Emily, who had once loved each other but had been separated by some unknown fate. He wondered what had happened to Emily that rainy night. Just as he was about to close the box, he heard soft footsteps echoing from above. Startled, he put the locket in his pocket and hurried up the stairs. When he returned to the grand hall, the footsteps had stopped, and everything was silent again. Tommy left Willowbrook Manor with Jonathan's notebook and the locket, determined to find out more about their story. Over the next few weeks, he spent hours at the village library, reading old letters, talking to villagers, and learning more about Jonathan and Emily's lives. Tommy discovered that Emily had indeed been a village girl, kind and cheerful, who often went up to the manor to bring fresh flowers for Jonathan's mother. As they spent time together, they had fallen in love. But their friendship had been a secret, hidden because their families would never have approved. Tommy found an old newspaper article that explained the rest of the story. On that stormy night, Emily had gone missing, and her body was never found. From that day on, Tommy returned to Willowbrook Manor often, sharing Jonathan and Emily's story with those who were willing to listen. And on some misty nights, if one listens carefully, they can hear faint whispers from the hidden room under the stairs and see a flicker of light. As if Jonathan and Emily had finally found their way back to each other.